Bring Her Back is out, and we've already reviewed it on the channel, which you can check out right here up in the cards. But I caught up with Greyson and saw it myself the other day, and now we're going to do a spoiler cast about it and talk all about what is, without a doubt, the best horror movie of the year. Also, I'm 6'2", just so you know. I'm not short. Greyson is almost 7 feet tall.
I'm a monster.
And speaking of monsters, let's dive right into this. The Filippo brothers.
The Filippo, I do believe what their last name is pronounced.
Yes, they have made not a sequel, but a second movie after Talk to Me, and they got Bring Her Back. Again, we have a spoiler for review. You can go watch if you want to, but it's really important that I talk to Greyson about this because movies like this maybe hit once a year. For me personally, you know, Greyson, you said it was the new standard for horror. And
definitely for the year.
Yes. And you have Piper, a blind sister to Andy, so sweet. And then you have Laura, their foster caretaker, played by homegirl from Shape of Water. And what devolves into, it's like I said before, this movie did not have to have anything supernatural in it.
Nope.
Like, at all. No. And it still would have been an effective thriller. Very effective. And then you have Oliver, just an agent of chaos. Yeah. Laura's already tenant foster kid.
Doing weird stuff throughout the movie, and you're not quite sure why, but it's just very odd.
Yes. And then, but let's just dive right in. We have this opening scene of like this lost footage of some kind of a cult.
Yeah.
Doing just the worst things ever.
Yep.
And it's like, man, this is going to be so hardcore. And you got the lady getting hung, and
the almost naked guy that's walking around just in the whitey tighties, dragging stuff around.
Yeah.
And it's just very uneasy, and it definitely sets a tone really, really quick of what you're going into.
Bam, tone shift. Sweetest kids ever.
Yep.
Sweet. Like, when I'm writing stuff, it's like, to set up that juxtaposition of how terrible things can possibly be in this movie, right? And then immediately shift to, this is the friendliest this movie is going to be.
Yep.
You're just from the beginning, you're like, oh no, everything that these kids do, you know, is going to set them on a path to have to confront
something truly horrible.
Yeah, and it just drives anxiety the entire time. So we've got Piper and Andy. You know, Andy's obviously looking out for Piper. Piper's the coolest character ever.
Piper gets made fun of by these kids, which really sets up how defensive Andy is over Piper and protective, because she asks if they're making fun of her, and he's like, no, they liked you.
But also, that's going to come back to bite him in the ass.
Sure does.
Because as terrible as it is, Andy should probably tell Piper everything that's happening around her.
Probably should. Yeah.
And, you know, Piper
doesn't believe him.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, and I think that dynamic of Andy as Piper's eyes is definitely my favorite aspect of the movie, because I love movies. I think that's why I love Smile 2. I think that's why Candyman.
Which one? The newest one or
the first one?
The first one.
The second one, not so much, but the original is like, I love it when no one trusts the lead. That's why Evil Dead 2013 is in my top 10. I love it when no one trusts the leads, right? Yep. And while you think Piper's going to be our lead, Andy is our lead here. And this boy, it just put through the ringer, and their dad dies.
A pretty horrible death.
Yeah, it's like he fell in the shower.
I think maybe they were saying like he was having a stroke and he fell.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure, but something bad happened, and they walk into the bathroom. Well, he breaks in.
Yeah.
Andy has to break in, and he's laying out naked, covered in vomit, like pulsating. Like
yeah. And he's got the foam and all the shit.
gnarly.
Yeah, it's nasty. But you know, they're put into foster care. They meet Wendy, who turns out to be such a fucking bitch.
I was waiting for you to talk about this character.
God.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man, is Wendy just? Man, is she just awful?
We've all met a Wendy.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't care what walk of life you're from.
They would do that? No.
Everybody knows Wendy. And
the overprotective mom-like character,
but just completely oblivious.
Yeah.
And we finally meet Laura, and it's just like, man, Laura's like, I don't know, I might make Laura like top 10 villain.
I told you, like,
ever.
she's my favorite. Well, she might be like one of my. I put her in the top 10 or top 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as soon as she shows up on the screen, because you get to their house and they're really smart about how they pull up to the house because it shows like all the circles and everything as they're coming up.
Yeah.
And it has like the canted camera angles for the uneasiness. And then she walks out, and as soon as she walks onto the screen, immediately steals the whole movie.
Yeah. She
after she first shows up, that movie is hers.
Yeah, she and her style. She's this hippie aunt that she's your favorite person in the world, and just like the immediate lack of consideration for Piper with the loud music. It's like her demeanor already doesn't match the house.
Yep.
Right? And she's like blasting the music and stuff. The Andy kind of sees that she does have taped down carpet, but she's just left it there because Laura's daughter was also blind. It turns out she had drowned in the pool. But from the second they meet, you know, she's like, Piper, here's your room. Andy, yours is down in the hallway.
There is an immediate, I don't want you here, Andy.
Yeah.
You are only here because you were lucky to be
I
here.
love the lines that Wendy gives to Andy and Piper about how, like, the foster mom doesn't want trouble.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, cool. Obviously, and this is all because, and we've seen the cult footage, right? And so we're like, okay, they don't want Andy around because they want to do whatever they want to Piper.
Yep.
And so you're just scared the entire time because I think that conversation makes you realize how vulnerable Piper is if Andy isn't there. And so Andy's like in this really shitty room, and then she puts Piper in her daughter's unchanged room.
Yep.
It's like very ceremonious. And I don't remember what the first thing was in the movie, but Laura has all these awesome moments where she'll lie to Piper about what's happening in the room or in the area. Even the stuffed Pomeranian. Like,
yeah, because she says she has a dog, and then whenever she goes up to pet it, she barks at Piper. And she's like, oh, don't worry, he's stuffed. So she has these very awkward quirks to where I think she thinks she's being like funny or cute.
Yeah.
But it's just really creepy.
But she should also know better, right? Having a blind daughter. And Andy is just like watching his sister get like manipulated.
It's hard because you feel for Andy a lot in this movie. And there's only so far Andy can go because Andy has 2 months or 2 or 3 months where he has to be here before he can get guardianship over Piper.
Yeah, they put in that awesome, like just like Romulus and other sessions,
so,
like they put in a clock to show the obligation of how easy it would be to just live for 3 months.
Yep. So he has to tolerate all of this stuff while it's going on just to make sure they get out of here.
Yeah. They meet Oliver, who's like this weird kid running around and like obviously.
Once again, another actor who does a phenomenal job as this kid.
Yeah, this kid deserves like, I don't know, it's a fucking Tony Award for
that kid does so much with so little. It's amazing.
Yeah, just walking,
standing, and just moving your eyes.
Yeah, I don't really, and you don't know what to do with Oliver. You're just like, okay, he's like this. Like I said, he's like an agent of chaos. He's like this guy 100%. That will show up at the worst times or the best times. But these beads of Laura, I think for me the scariest scene of the whole film is at their dad's funeral. When they're standing over their dad's casket, and you're finally getting the sense that, like Andy, there's something between Andy and his dad that it wasn't kosher, right?
Yep.
And then Laura does this hyper terrible, like I was watching like it was a fingernail rip fest.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, don't. She kept encouraging him to kiss.
Yeah, kiss. She says, kiss your father on the lips. Andy goes, that's weird. I don't want to do that.
It's a tradition.
It's a tradition. It's fine. Go ahead.
Those like
Go
fingers that they show on the back of him and stuff. It was just so it was agonizing to watch. And her outfit at the funeral is spectacular. She's got these bright, vibrant, saturated colors and these ridiculous earrings. And
I'm telling you, dude, like it's as soon as she's on that screen, no matter when you see her, focus on her. Nothing but her. All of it.
So I don't know. There's just so much to talk about.
It's also cool because that's where you get your first, oh, okay, this is about to get real weird, because she cuts a piece of the father's hair.
Yeah.
So that puts another thing in your mind of, okay, we already got the cult. Now we've got the hair, and we've got this little boy who's walking around.
Yeah, I think that like while I was watching it, I really took note in my head of the consistency and pacing of the revelations here, right? Like any narrative story, you want to drop beads for your audience like constantly.
Yeah.
So it's like the loud music, the carpet, the hair, Ollie dropping the tape at the beginning, obviously.
The locking of Oliver every time they leave, they lock him up. Like, that's one thing that they bring up as well, is anytime they leave the house, he is locked up in his room. He cannot come out.
Yeah. And, the pool house or something in there. And she drowned in the pool. And I really love the architecture of the pool as well, because it's like the opposite of a circle, right? It's like triangulated, but then it's got the circle pattern in the bottom that'll come full circle at the end.
For sure.
But no, you just feel so bad. And, she's manipulating Andy. She's peeing in cups and pouring it on him to make him feel crazy and gaslight him. She's getting Piper isolated whenever she can.
Yeah, she also gets drunk with Andy to get his trust.
Yeah.
So that she can find out, like, okay, what did you do as a kid?
Yeah.
What did happen? What happened between you and your father? Just so she can manipulate him even more.
Yeah. And the dread is, and again, like, nothing supernatural has happened, right?
Nope.
And the kind of turn here, after it's all said and done, Oliver's getting more and more crazy. If there's anything you want to talk about, just stop me. But I just kind of want to get to this point where Oliver is becoming inflamed, right? His eyes are changing just a little bit. His stomach is getting distended.
He's got a bit of a little pooch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some shots here. I will say in the bathroom with Oliver, I was like Insidious red guy for the first time.
Oh, that first like pop.
The mirror break.
Oh yeah.
I was very like, oh my God.
And that's another thing that I give to the directors. They, once again, took just a little and got a lot out of it. Because it is literally a snap.
Yeah.
It's like the Exorcist demon pop. Whenever you first see its face and it goes away. It's that fast.
And then maybe one of my favorite shots, like, maybe since, like, Flaming Evil Dead Chainsaw Burning Cabin, is in the rain when Andy's looking out at Ollie in the rain with his cut hand, and these ripples go around his head, and then like you see the outlines of like demon horns and stuff coming out of him. I was like, oh my God, that was insane.
So the big change of tone, so we can kind of get towards the end of it, is Piper and Laura leave to go and get, I believe, clothes for Piper. They're just going to go out shopping for her.
Yeah.
And they leave Andy and Oliver.
That's right.
This scene is so violent.
Yeah.
And I did not expect this to happen. Andy decides, I'm going to get Oliver out. It's time that he comes out. I want to get to know this kid. Breaks him out of the room, brings him into the kitchen, and decides, I'm going to feed him some fruit.
And it's spectacular because he puts the knife out, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, something terrible is going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, Nothing could have prepared you for how terrible it was going to be.
In my head, I'm going, okay, Oliver's going to stab Andy.
Yeah, like, or Oliver's grabbing the knife and like hurt himself or something.
So Andy tells Oliver, write something down and I'll give you fruit.
Yeah.
So he writes something down. Andy turns his back. The knife is on the table. Or no, he hands him the knife with the fruit on it. Andy turns his back and you hear this this crunching and then clacking on metal noise, and in your head you go, I know he's not eating that knife.
Yeah,
I know he's not.
And then in your head for 1 second, there's like this millisecond of hope when it connects. Oh no, he's definitely eating the knife. I hope he's eating it hamburger style.
Yeah, not hot dog. I hope he's not going whole dog on that bad
boy. And you are so wrong for hoping that.
Yeah, because it cuts back and he's got it in his mouth and it's just, and it's going through his teeth and you hear the crunching. And
it's splitting his gums and his lips and his teeth are getting divided in half.
I can handle a lot. Like, I am good. I can watch extremely gory films and be okay. But the way they did the sound design and the way everything's going on and the blood that's going everywhere, it just immediately made me do this in theaters. I went, oh!
Not to mention the sound is like micro levels. It is like ASMR dialed up across the board.
Which I can't handle ASMR, so it was already a double.
Yeah, because every hand slide from Piper, every door slam is like billowing, and then you just get this knife stuff, and it was just like, it was so funny because in my head I go, okay, Greyson told me there's no fingernail stuff in the review. That's like, just so you know, Greyson, being like there's no fingernail stuff, and then there being a guy eating a knife vertically, that's just as bad. Okay, that's just.
Well, it's hard because, and that's what was tough in the review, and that's why I said my phobia kicked in hard because. I remember watching The Dentist as a kid and it kind of messing with me. This is like, hey, Dennis, watch this. Let me show you how to do some true dental work.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to ruin that because I wanted you to have the reaction.
What an important moment.
So after this event happens, this movie is off to the races.
Yeah.
It is now, okay, we're going to start wrapping this bad boy up. All hell's breaking loose.
Yeah.
From this point on, this movie becomes of like a freaking horrific horror movie.
Yes.
So Andy runs outside with Oliver. Piper shows back up. They walked through the circle. Oliver starts freaking out.
Yep.
And that's whenever you start to realize, okay, so wherever the circle is, they're containing whatever is in this kid.
Yes.
In my head, I go, cool, the cult is coming now.
Yeah.
Here we go. Andy has royally pissed off the cult. It's all over. This is about to get creepy.
Laura's about to call in back up.
Yep. But Laura just takes Andy into the room and turns on the tape and just starts watching a tape. And that's whenever you realize something.
There's one thing scarier than a cult, and it's an amateur cultist.
Yep.
Watching home movies of
that
cultists.
She might have just found.
and we have no clue where she got these tapes.
That is the best thing about this movie is she's doing this. She turns on the TV, she watches it, and then she turns around and she tries to mimic it, and then she looks back at the TV while she's mimicking.
Yeah, and it's like, and it is like, man, it's like that's the one thing that's scarier is just this really sweet mom.
Found this tape.
Found these tapes, and she's gonna do her best.
Yeah, and it's even more fucked up because you find out what she did. She was a counselor to all these kids.
Yeah.
She sees all this stuff happening and doesn't report it.
Yep.
Just, I'll bring my kid back. I don't care.
She loves her daughter.
Yeah.
Bring her back.
Yeah, bring her back.
So with Oliver, you know, obviously she's mad at Andy for letting him out and stuff. The thing just continues to spiral. We get this scene where Laura kind of culminates her gaslighting of Piper by slugging her in the face while she's sleeping.
She hammer fists her on
it
the
was
ground.
terrible. And
it's once again, the sound design on that hammer fist is crazy.
Yeah, and you know, she convinces Piper that Andy's been hit
because of the body spray they bought for him. She coats her whole body in it.
Yeah, very clever. Top to bottom, man, I'm just like, cool, perfect. That's perfect.
Yep.
And finally, perfection gets even better.
I'm telling you, man, this movie it's amazing.
It gets better. We kind of get all these hints that, Oliver's possessed, obviously, whatever, the circles are keeping him in.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Laura had fed Oliver the dad's hair. You finally get that, which causes Andy to slip and get a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
Andy goes to the hospital while all this is happening. This is how Laura sets it all up and starts to get Piper towards Laura's side. Andy comes back and is like, yo, a lot of stuff's going wrong. I have to get a hold of somebody.
Yeah.
Like, something needs to happen. They get into a big argument. Andy ends up pushing Laura to the ground and punching through the wall.
Yeah. And like Piper hears that, right?
She can't see anything, which adds so much more to this movie.
Yeah, and so she's like, that kind of just like stamps down Andy's the bad guy now, thinks Piper, right?
Yeah.
And eventually, Oliver, his stomach gets more and more distended. He's weird, obviously.
He is out of control at this moment.
Yeah,
like
we've also found that Laura's keeping her daughter in a freezer.
Yep. So now that the daughter's in the freezer and Oliver, whatever is inside of Oliver is going to go into her daughter to bring her back.
Yes, Oliver just needs to eat her a little bit.
So Oliver has to do that, and then Oliver has to take Piper.
Yeah, well, Piper has to drown in the pool.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah. And then all that transfer happens.
Yeah. But we get to kind of like this final form, so to speak, of Oliver. And he's wrecking house.
Literally.
It's awesome. But he's like fully gestated and gross and terrible. And like they show earlier in the movie, Laura hits her hip on the counter.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm like, cool. That's clearly Piper's gonna run into that later. Yep. Clearly, because that's an obstacle that Piper can't see. Piper can only see edges and stuff. Mm-hmm. But there's one person that can see edges a little bit better than Piper.
Who's that?
That's Oliver. And he's like, man, that wood mahogany kitchen counter looks mighty tasty. This kid is hungry.
And if your teeth phobia was like, oh, thank God it's gone. Nah, dog, it's only just begun.
It's way worse.
Oh, boy, because we get a Pac-Man chomp on this bad boy.
He is eating counter like crazy.
The tooth flies out while he's biting into it.
Oh, God. And it's like his already damaged teeth that are doing this. And so it's just like, he starts eating his own arm. You get this nasty skin strip pull down his forearm. Then he eats the wound worse, and it's I mean, it's worse than the knife part for me. Like I was just like, no. And the guy next to me, he was like, he goes, oh no! Like that. I just looked at him and I was like,
yeah.
He goes, oh no! And when he pulled the skin strip down, he goes, God!
You had a good crowd.
Yeah.
Good crowd.
And, what's crazy is Andy finally gets to the point where he gets Wendy to go to the house.
Yeah, after he convinces Wendy that there's a flyer of a missing child, and he's like, this is Oliver.
Yes.
I've seen this kid. He's there. We need to go.
Yeah.
They finally get out there after...
I was not expecting Wendy to go out there at all.
I thought she would, but I really thought it was going to be she'd knock on the door and then leave.
Yeah.
I did not expect a full-on exploring the house. I'm glad it did happen.
Yeah.
Because it makes it even more nerve-wracking.
And hilariously, Laura like starts cleaning up Oliver's mess. And it's funny because I like out loud went, oh no, girl.
You ain't getting away with that. There's teeth marks in your table.
Yeah.
There's a whole missing piece.
But yeah, Wendy explores and, Wendy's such a bitch. Anyways.
Andy's doing the same. He breaks into the now area, finds the body. Everything's breaking loose.
That Oliver's kind of chewed up a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we do know that Laura's gonna drown Piper to switch her daughter's body into Piper's body. And Wendy and Wendy kind of confronts Laura, leaves her in the house. Her and Andy are going back to the car to go talk to the police. And oh my God, you get one of the best car hits in recent memory.
It is. It's not amazing.
I think it's like, which we'll be talking about soon. Where Evil Lurks has an amazing car hit.
Sure does.
And then, but this one, the impact on Wendy, you know, it's like, and the energy is great because you're like, get her, Laura. It's like,
yes. Because you are mad. You're mad at the Wendy character, but what was going through my head was, okay, there she is. Where is Andy? And then that slow pan over to Andy in the puddle.
Yeah, and he's hit too. And I'm like, I'm glad he's awake because he'd drowned in that puddle.
That hole that he's half in, or the little puddle he's in.
Yeah, and the shot here is amazing because it's, you've got that mirror on the ground that was kind of signaled from Andy's car, which is spectacular. You can't fix everything, Andy.
Nope.
And Laura drowns Andy.
Yep. Your leading character is gone.
Yeah.
10 minutes left of the film here. Maybe like 7.
Yeah.
But gone.
And he's dead.
So Piper no longer has any eyes.
Yeah, she's completely vulnerable now. And it is like, because I like mean horror movies, right?
Yeah.
And not for the sake of being mean. I mean, merciless horror movies, right? And I'm just sitting there like, it's up to Piper now.
Yep.
And it's so hopeless because it's, again, like, obviously she's aware of her surroundings, but Andy's been protecting her the whole movie. You get that kind of finality
and fear.
Yeah, and Laura fights Piper, and you have that scene that's kind of like early in the movie, kind of like the funeral scene where Laura tests to see if she's basically. Laura is like, okay, Piper, let's see if I've manipulated you enough.
Yeah.
And you can call me Mom if you want.
Yeah.
And Piper's not there.
She's like, nah, we'll come see you on the weekends. Oh, perfect.
Oh my God, she's so sweet. And Ollie's over there doing his satanic shit over on the pool edge.
He's just standing there.
Doing his hokey pokey. Yeah. Laura's drowning Piper. And then in a last ditch effort, Piper calls her mom.
Because she knows.
Yeah.
Because Piper is very intelligent.
Exactly. And she gets Laura to let her go.
Yeah.
And Piper runs off into traffic.
And then you get Oliver, who's still standing there, complete, like, huge gut, all messed up, is just standing there and starts walking towards where Piper had fallen and looks down and sees a flyer of his missing photo.
Yep.
And you get the scene of Piper running. I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Yeah, same.
You get the scene of Piper running, and then this family happens to show up and takes her. And then you get another scene of Oliver crawling over the circle.
Yeah, he passes the line again.
And starts the convulsing.
Poor kid, man. Just acting his ass off.
Then you probably get the best 2 minutes of a horror movie ever. Because when they're wrapping it up, you get Piper seeing the plane crossover, which
oh my God, I'm just like, cool.
To the beginning to what Andy said.
I'm like, here it comes.
Yep. And then you get these police officers searching the woods, and they find Oliver, and Oliver is like crying, and they're like, oh my God, it's the missing boy. And you're like, he's okay too, because the demon's out. What's your name?
Yeah.
And they say the name, and you're like,
yeah, the circle burned it out of him.
It got out. And then, like, I'm crying at this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I am legit, like, crying at this movie. And then you cut over and you see Laura.
Yeah.
In a pool, holding her dead daughter as the police come in. And there is a part of you that's like, oh, it's over.
Was Laura dead?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I thought she was dead too.
Sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost certain.
Because she rips her hand wound.
Yeah, and she had that huge chunk.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think she ripped that chunk out. There's like a small pool of blood. I thought, I I thought that she has to be dead because they wouldn't have had her do that
Yeah.
for any other reason than to confirm her self-killing. But yeah, and then you get that perfect circle at the end, and it's like, this is a contained situation.
Yep.
Like,
it's all over.
yeah, and I don't know. I was just like, yeah, maybe. Grayson said maybe like top 50. I'm like I'm always real hesitant because I'm a big victim of recency bias. Like
that's why I said I won't put it higher than that until the rest of the year is over.
Yes.
Until I really get a good to analyze a lot of horror.
Yeah. I can tell you I like it more than I liked Hereditary.
Yep. I will agree with that. And when I first Hereditary. Saw it. I absolutely love that movie.
Yeah. I would say that so out of like recent horror movies, I would say it's better than the Hellraiser remake. It's better than Candyman thing. It's better than Scream 4. It's better than
or 5.
Or Scream 5, yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of the best horror movies, if not the best horror movie of the past couple of years for me. But I don't know how it'll rank in the echelon, but it was perfect.
It is. I have no complaints about this film.
Yeah.
There is nothing in this movie that I said, I wish they would have changed this. Every single thing in this movie runs perfectly.
Yeah, everything is just enough.
No flaws.
Everything is just enough at hinting. Everything is very clear on what happens. Everything could have happened without any demons at all.
Yep.
That hits.
It's a perfect film.
So, if you guys enjoyed that, go check out our latest. I made my friend watch.
Yeah.
Grayson, I made him watch Cujo for the first time.
Sure did.
And he's gonna review it. So go check that out and make sure and support content just like this on patreon.com/hangtime and our other channels right here. Probably in the description.
Right here. Right here.
Right there.
Right there. Right there. Goodbye, everybody.